again. That was the solo for Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones and Keith Richards. Do you like my new telly? Isn't that nice? My good buddy Sean loaned me this. It's not mine, sadly. This is a Fender Telecaster Custom Shop Closet Classic Telecaster that my good friend Sean just picked up a couple of months ago for an absolute song. These go for upwards of $4,000 or $5,000. He picked this up for I think about $1,600 on the local guitar marketplace online. Just a beauty. I've never played a telly before, and he loaned it to me for this solo because it's Keith Richards, so I need a telly. Anyway, just a beautiful, beautiful guitar, and I lowered the action, Sean. I hope you don't mind. I'll raise it back up before I give it back to you. Some solos on this list don't really have much of a story, so when I'm planning my little talk afterwards, I don't really have much to say about some of these solos, so I have to dig into maybe a story or two about the guitar player, or about the band, or about the song. This one has an interesting little story. There are people out there, fans of the Rolling Stones, I suppose, people who know their music well. I'm not one of them. I like the Stones, but I've never really been a huge fan of the Rolling Stones. Some say that Keith Richards, before this solo, never did a solo like it, and never did a solo like it style-wise or tone-wise afterwards, and never played this solo live the same way, leading some people to think that it wasn't Keith Richards who actually recorded this solo, that it was one of the studio musicians who were on hand during the Beggar's Banquet recording session in 1967 or 68, who actually put this solo down. Some say it was Jimmy Page, others say it was the great Roy Buchanan. If you don't know Roy Buchanan, go listen to Roy Buchanan. He is unbelievable. Sadly dead now, but just a stellar, amazing guitar player, a blues guitar player. Incredible. Go to YouTube, go watch some Roy Buchanan. Some say it was Dave Mason from Traffic. Interesting. I disagree. This was Keith Richards. It's not a difficult solo. I know Keith Richards isn't a soloist, but this is pretty basic blues licks. Nothing too difficult about this. Just E minor pentatonic blues licks. Pretty simple, but very, very iconic, and one of the great classic solos of the 60s, and very much deserving to be on this list. It just jumps out of that song in stone. It does not jump out in stone. It jumps out in tone and in style. And like I mentioned earlier, something very different for Keith Richards, and just a great solo. And I'm going to leave that there because I don't really have much else to say about this one. I've got Jessica by the Allman Brothers coming up next. And goddamn do I love the Allman Brothers, and do I love Dickie Betts, his guitar playing. I just love Dickie Betts' guitar playing, and I've really been looking forward to this one. I've already got it all down. This Sympathy for the Devil solo took me about 5 minutes to learn. So I've been spending most of my week learning Jessica in its entirety. I do all the instrumentals in their entirety on this list. So I'm getting ready to record that one, and I've got it all figured out and practiced and ready to go. So that's coming up next at number 47. So that was Sympathy for the Devil solo by Keith Richards, and I am out for now, and we'll be back in a couple of days with Jessica by the Allman Brothers and Dickie Betts. Ciao.